And you heard the breaking news in Jillian's newscast. Federal agents have now arrested several people tied to last month's protest outside Spokane's ICE offices. And those arrested include former Spokane City Council President Ben Stuckart. So giving you the background here, almost a month ago, there were two young migrants, fully legal, with work permits, and a guardian who used to run the Spokane City Council went in for what ICE said was a routine check-in. And they did exactly what they were told. ICE cuffed them anyway and sent them to Tacoma at the Northwest Detention Center we've talked about. So their guardian, Ben Stuckart, says he saw the trap, but skipping it would have made things worse, and he got arrested himself for trying to block the van. And he spoke with KXLY at the time.
You can't help spend time with them and not understand just what great young men they are. They've done everything right, and they're escaping horrible situations. And then to have them come in for a checkup and be detained illegally is morally reprehensible.
Now, he led the charge by posting a call to action on Facebook. He is accused of conspiring to interfere with law enforcement. Also arrested was a cybersecurity expert and veteran, Bajun Mavalwala. His father says FBI agents showed up at 6 this morning, refused to present a warrant until everyone had left the house, and then took his son's phone and clothing from the protest. The dad says his son was not read his rights and insists that he has no criminal history. Another person facing charges is Justice Forrell, who is an organizer with Spokane County Against Racism. And her charges include assault and unlawful imprisonment tied to the protest. And the arrests are drawing immediate backlash from Spokane's Mayor Lisa Brown, who calls this is a quote, a perversion of our justice system. And she accuses the Trump administration of weaponizing ICE to silence dissent. I was just going to get a coffee, and you had mentioned to me that there was this breaking news. Your thoughts?
Red meat. You started off the show, you talking about it, and I'm going to continue to stay with your theme. This red meat will be increasingly thrown out there. And there's a reason why you're going to see more of an increase, especially right now, because we got to try to get people to stop talking about the Epstein list. He knows that MAGA is split right now. He has already called out to the influencers, the Joe Rogans, the Charlie Kirks, and all of them, told them to tone down the conversation centered around Epstein. Now, back to this topic right here. Now it is repeating all over again. The 50s into the 60s, the civil rights movement. When John Lewis gave the example before he died, talking about getting into good trouble, talking about his experiences back then. People have been arrested for standing for what's good. And by the way, I don't know what it's like. We have seen it in the books, Ursula. In the 50s and 60s, the civil rights movement, we saw so many. And we celebrated them about how courageous they were, how they were being. Martin Luther King was arrested. I want to make sure we're all clear on this. Dr. King was arrested over 25 times in his life. You know, the same one that folks love to quote him on his birthday. Mm-hmm. They love to use his quotes in a way to make themselves feel good, if you will, saying that Dr. King wouldn't be happy about today. I'm saying that to say that there's going to be a lot of hard work that needs to be done because ICE is here to draw fear in these communities. They're causing trauma. They're causing not just trauma for those that are undocumented and for our brown brothers and sisters in this country. They're causing it for people who, like you and I, that have to see this stuff and have to determine, like we ask each other, what do you do when you see this unfairness going on? You might have to get in good trouble.
I remember when we were talking to former King County Sheriff John Urquhart, who has been in law enforcement for most of his life, for decades, really, and we were talking about the ICE raids and the manner in which they're happening right now. Because, again, overall, with former President Obama, there were still more deportations during that presidency than the current one. But now there is this actual what do you call that, quota that was mentioned by Stephen Miller, the 3,000 a day. And so it's being stepped up, and it's being very, very visible. And this is what John Urquhart said to us last week.
Say the tactics that I've seen, what happened in MacArthur Park in Los Angeles a few days ago, I'm absolutely disgusted with the way ICE is handling these things. The masks are absolutely beyond the pale, beyond the pale. When I came in as sheriff in 2012, there was a couple deputies working plain clothes, and they were wearing these type of masks. And I put a stop to that so fast it'd make your head spin. We don't need that. ICE does not need that. That's an intimidation tactic. And it's not coming from the individual ICE officers, I will guarantee you that. It's coming from much higher up in the organization that's telling them, this is what you need to do. This is what we want you to do. You know, Gee, I'm sure, Gee, you and I have talked about the militarization of the police. Well, how do you like it now? You know, how do the citizens like it now when they see these armed rifles with silencers on them and masks and military gear on the streets of their cities? You know, it's beyond the pale. I'm shocked that we've fallen this low in this country that is happening.
Can I comment on that real quick? Because this is absolutely outrageous. And if you're thinking to yourself, hey, you know what? The charges probably won't pass muster. It's going to get dropped. In our system, you don't have to be convicted to be absolutely destroyed or ruined. Like, the legal fees of taking on the Justice Department can run to the tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. You might not even be able to pay for your defense. Just getting charged can ruin your reputation, right? People put up their homes for this stuff, and this is legal intimidation. I cannot believe that we are watching this happen in real time. This is a guy who sponsored 2 kids coming from horrible situations, did everything right. Former
Spokane City Council president, right? I mean, that's what we're reporting right now. I also just want to mention, so the 9, I guess, defendants now, they're going to be in federal court later today. So hopefully we'll get more information. But this is the kind of thing, you were talking about the distractions and the administration trying to create distractions so that you don't pay attention to something else that they're trying to cover up. Maybe it's the Epstein list, whatever it is. People can pay attention to multiple things at multiple times. And yes, it feels like there's a fire hose of things coming at us. And again, we have zero problem with getting rid of criminals. But that is not what is happening. And these tactics, we should all be concerned about them. And yes, we should all be using our voices and whatever influence we have to try to push back against it, basically.
Just one more thing before I go. In sports, right? Sometimes, or let's just take football. As you guys know, it's one of my favorites to talk about. If you run a certain play on offense and you get beat by it, the goal is if that play comes again, is to stop it. Right now, I'm glad Chef brought up the point about how this is going to be tougher for people being arrested than it was back in the day of Dr. King, back in the day of John Lewis and all of them. They are making it tougher. They know that protests work. People gathering around about a common theme, it works. They have to prevent that from happening again. So these charges, when they start to arrest people, they're coming at them tough. This isn't just some, okay, yeah, haha, I got out and raised my hands in the air, power to the people and all that. No, these are real potential consequences because it is the DOJ that is coming after. The federal government is being weaponized on the people that are here to try to make good trouble. This is a scary thing, like really scary, and so many people will be hurt by this, but the only way to get to the other side is I said it, you go through it to get to it, and there's a lot of people that will be hurt by it.